Hello everyone, welcome to the upcoming Q&A of the 2025. We are going to be streaming in a bit. We are going to be streaming live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our website, A-FilmTeensFest.com. And my name is Susanna Nevolova. I am a program coordinator at the A-FilmTeensFest, and we are going to be interviewing Bryn Wright, the director of the short animated film Metamorphoses, Rohan Hassan, who is the author of a short feature film, Binary Singularities, Nikolina Riselius, who is the director of the short feature film Light, which in Czech translates as Světlo, and Rubie Sturm. So I have a message from the directors that we are going to be streaming in 20 minutes, so bear with us, and hopefully you can hear everything that happens. Thank you. welcome one and all again to the second A-FilmTeens Q&A of 2025. We are again streaming live, but we are still waiting for two other participants of the second Q&A. But we are going to be welcoming Bryn Wright, Rohan Hassan, and Nikolina Riselius, as well as Rubie Sturm of the directors of some of our selected films. So bear with us and we will stream in just a bit. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome for the third time to the second A-FilmTeens Q&A of 2025. We are again streaming live. My name is Zuzana Nevolova. I am one of the program coordinators at A-FilmTeens 2025. I have selected some of the films that are in our this year's selection, so I really appreciate and welcome that some of our authors are today with us. Hello, we are welcoming Rohan Hassan, the author of the short feature film Binary Singularities. Hello. Hello. And
Hi.
Hello. And Nikolina Riselius, the director of the short feature film Light, which is in Czech Světlo. Hello again. You are all part of this year's program that people can kind of find at our website. Thank you for being here. How are you? Good to start. Can we pitch it off? Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank you for having us.
Absolutely, thank you for coming. And dramaturgically, I kind of wanted to create a bridge in between some of your movies today. And I have found a similarity dramaturgically that some of your movies and most of your movies today are quite strongly shaped by the film's world, or the place where the protagonist finds himself or finds herself. Rohan Hassan, who directed Binary Singularities, your film is a sci-fi film. It has quite a current topic. I was kind of trying to come up with a definition of synopsis for my own, and I think it's an allegorical tale about the conflict of humankind and the so-called AI. I will give you, the questions in a bit. Can you introduce yourself and can you kind of tell us what inspired you to create this sci-fi film? Yeah,
absolutely. So my name is Rohan Hassan, and this is my brother. His name is Rahat.
Yeah.
So
Hi.
this idea, we are the actors in the movie as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we created this movie with a very limited budget and with ourselves as we made everything ourselves. Yeah, with a friend who actually filmed us. So it was very fun. And our idea is basically, as you said, the coexistence of AI and humans and what conflicts it can cause. So our idea was primarily that to show like the difference between humans and AI and where consciousness actually arises.
Yeah, it's a very strong theme, I'd say, and it spoke to me personally, and I also wanted to kind of ask you if you had a specific message in mind when you started, or if you just wanted the audience to kind of figure out the meaning of the film as kind of giving a question then an answer.
Yeah,
I wanted
so
to.
it's a bit abstract, as you said. So for the viewers, they can take it as they want to. But the message that we had in mind was that humans have something that AI could never have, which is so we bring up topics like memories, a soul, and how a human have something that the AI or artificial intelligence minds cannot have. So it's a discovery of the human nature in a way that we wanted to portray, and the message is that there is something special to humans.
Is it were you inspired by the current events or something that you kind of went through yourselves these days?
Yeah.
Or
So first of all,
something specific? Yeah.
So we actually love to make movies, and we find that it's very interesting how you can make movies on such a low budget, yet create something that is like world building, in a way that is made of low budget circumstance, but we can still make it portray it as if it were better. So we found it very interesting, the current topic AI, and we wanted to make a movie regarding that. So it took some time to create the script as we wanted it to be, but we are very happy with the results. And so it is definitely inspired by the current topic.
Yeah, and we also wanted to question like the way we are AI is so like relevant today.
Yeah,
and the way it's heading. Is it going to replace the human, skills?
Yeah. And if it did, would it be the same as when the humans dominated?
Yeah. That's a really good question. I actually wanted to ask you later on about the script itself and the development, but when you touched upon this, I had a question in mind before about your interpretation of the characters, and the thing that I kind of experienced. It took me through a roller coaster of not being sure who is or who isn't human, and even like humane in this scenario. What is your take on it? What do you kind of hope the audience takes away from your movie? Is the human character even humane? Where is the line? How did you approach it?
Yeah, so it's very interesting that you mentioned this, because we actually primarily I thought of the roles being the opposite. So that the one that who is being interviewed, as it seems from the beginning, is the AI person. So we actually thought first maybe it should be just a head that talks. But then we developed and thought that it would be much more interesting if we saw something in the future where the AI is interviewing the human, and we wanted the viewers to feel like it's actually the AI who is being interviewed, but it felt a lot more interesting to view it in this perspective.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that development of the I thought that you probably developed this story like that, but I was not sure. I get that the script came first in the development. Is it?
Sorry?
I kind of thought that the script probably came first with the development in this movie. Yeah. In which order have you kind of written the film? Is it like you thought of the situation? Sorry.
First of all, we thought of the conflict, so not the characters. And as I said, the interaction between AI and a human. And then we thought of how we can make this on a low budget. And by that, we formed a script where there's only two people, but the conversations are the interesting parts. And we can make a set that looks sci-fi. So it's first was the idea, then we wrote the script as we wanted it to be, with in mind on how we can produce it, of course, and then production, and then editing.
That's very cool. And also kudos to the editing and to the lighting and to the set design. It was really kind of, it felt very real and kind of tangible, I'd say. So I really liked and appreciated that. Wanted to ask you about the budget and how did you create the set design that was so extensive and probably had a low budget? How did you kind of approach the world building? Yeah.
So actually, the entire film was filmed in our living room.
Yeah.
So and everything that you saw.
Sorry. Cool.
Everything that you saw was just equipment and props that we had at home.
Yeah, so we just went into our storage room and
Took
scoured what we could find.
Just looked around, whatever looked good. Like it could be cables, it could be pipes, it could be whatever you could find, and just filling the set with as much props as you could, and then you get a very, very nice result at last. But it took time, and it created a lot of mess. I know, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I thought about how you created the, you know, the walls of the thing. Was it with some kind of a plastic screen or something?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually I think we went on a shopping tour once, and then we scoured our storage rooms. So we just bought like big plastic wrappers, and we put it like, so it seems like it's as if it is a tent that he looks into.
It looks very futuristic. I really liked it. And also, yeah. And also, how did you kind of manage to make the different lights? And, you know, there's different colored lights. And did you have any kind of symbolic meanings to the colors?
Yeah, I think there's one light that turns red when the situation is a bit more intense. Yeah. So we had some film lights, but we find is that if you have a very small budget, we find it interesting to focus that budget on buying equipment. So we had some like basic film lights that can be different colors, and then a camera. So and then we focused on trying to make them seem as integrated into the set as possible, and using colors to
Was there something that you, in the hindsight, looking back, feel like you would have done differently about the set design? I was wondering because I always, when somebody is making a movie, I always feel that there's a moment that I forgot something in somewhere. And I was like, I should have done that differently. Is there something that you would kind of make a bit like kind of tilted it, or have you caught anything in the editing? Is it like you're very glad about the whole thing that it came out the same?
So with the budget we had, I think we're happy with the results. But in case we had a bit more larger budget, then I think we would have maybe rented a local a place to shoot in, and then we would have a bigger set to build more props.
Oh yeah. However, I really enjoyed the closeness of it. I was just wondering because it looks very, very nice and tangible and kind of portrays the futuristic vibe very well. So I was wondering if there's, you know, forgotten something that I should, in rewatching, focus on. So yeah, good. There's nothing that you came back to. Was there something that you found was a really big challenge in making the sci-fi, or kind of in acting, or in the production of the script? Was there something that was very challenging and that you would not wish upon your worst enemy?
I think one of the things that I found at this challenging was because I had to portray the character as a way that I'm not really giving away if I'm the AI or I'm a human. At the same time as I couldn't be too humane, but I couldn't be too robotic at the same time, because I couldn't give it away. So finding the balance of how my character is supposed to be and how much he can understand actually about human emotions, and so how to portray the characters, I think that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
and then definitely the set design was awesome.
So like the whole process was quite a big challenge, because it was only we two and then a photographer, a videographer, and then we actually made the entire film in only a week. So it was a lot of hours we were awake.
Yeah, so it was very intense.
Cool. Including the writing? Did it take a week?
Yeah, including the writing. So we had the idea for a while, but the script was written quite.
Cool.
So a change in the future. Something I'd change in the future, maybe not make it at our house because it creates such a mess at home.
Oh yeah, and the cleaning. I know the feeling. Okay, is there anything, when you mentioned the characters, is there something that helped you with kind of getting into the role or writing the right character? Is there like quirks, or did you create background stories for them?
So in our film we portray that the AI, there's another one of him, So they're almost like clones. So we wanted them to, after a while, feel like they're only generic, and we wanted to give a lot more personality to the human. Yeah. So we showed first that he remembers that he maybe had a family, that he had relations, and then we showed that he also was a soldier, so that he had both the good parts of humanity and also the more bad parts. So we put a lot more character development into the human person.
Yeah, I think your question was very good, actually, because that was actually something that I struggled with, because I was an AI then, I was a robot. And how does a robot think? Like, I don't know really the background of, like, does this robot have any emotions? Does this robot have any, like, background? So when I played a normal part, being a human or whatever, it's I can like portray myself. How is the background? How is this? Why is this person acting this way? But this character is just, coded. So it was actually hard to understand what the motive of the robot is.
I think. I actually, sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, that was it.
I actually really appreciated the costume of the AI, because it was so generic and kind of, it seemed like a working uniform, and since it wasn't very like giving away the idea that it's AI, I really appreciated the even the color, that it's the cold, the blue and the gray together. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Is there
nice
something?
that you noticed that because we wanted to give like a blue cold tone to the movie, so it seems more, as you said, yeah.
And when the characters, you can absolutely expand on that. If there's if you kind of wanted to create a contrast with the different settings, how did you kind of make the other half feel so more humane and more human? How did you kind of approach the settings and in the forest and so on? Something.
So while he is interrogating him, we wanted there to be a harsh light on him, and him being a bit lower than the one interrogating, because we wanted to show that he's like the victim in this sense, and whether you think it's an AI or a human, we wanted to give that feeling. But then in the forest, when he has beaten him down to the ground, he's standing up straight, and his face is a bit more intense, and we wanted to give the shift in the power of that it changed now. So there was some thought to it, and we wanted it to feel like a lot more humane to the person who is.
And during the interrogation, we often switch to the place where I'm sitting, white background, there's opera music. The idea behind that was to give a sort of hierarchy, that I am like, I can relax back while he is always at the like harsh environment, hanging there without legs. Just giving the contrast between the characters.
Yeah, cool. I was wondering when you mentioned the setting, whether you had any like influences, or whether you had a film that you said like, we would really like it to look it like that, like this film. We would really like appreciate if we managed to make this atmosphere happen in our movie. If there were any influences, artistic or movies, or even like pictures or anything.
So I don't think we had a specific movie as inspiration, but we took general inspiration from movies that were a bit more thriller, sci-fi, offer in futuristic settings. So a bit like there's a movie called AI, which is, it feels like a bit more,
and Blade Runner, of course.
Blade Runner, so
colorful lighting, red and blue.
And colors,
yeah. And we really wanted to show the contrast, so that's why we had such a dark setting, and then we had this very bright setting, so it feels like, just like you mentioned, a roller coaster ride of how the events turn out.
Is there something, looking back, that you would, is there any advice you would kind of give to someone trying to make a sci-fi film with little to no budget and with a little crew? Was it very hard, and what would you want them to prepare for?
I would tell them to prepare for hard work, but knowing that anything can be achieved.
Right.
So basically, you just gotta think outside the box and find ways of how you can create something that represents what you want to achieve.
Definitely.
And then go for it, because anything is possible. You have a phone in your hand that you can shoot with. So in case you don't have an expensive camera, you can just film with that.
Right.
So we really encourage anyone to make movies.
And you shouldn't limit your story writing with the things that you have and don't have.
Yeah.
Just write your story. You have the idea, you have the plot, write it down, and then find solutions for it. Find creative ways to solve the problems that occurs. Don't limit yourself because you don't have something. You don't have a spaceship, or you don't have. We don't have a sci-fi location at our home normally, but we managed to create something of that sort. So don't limit your story writing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would really like a spaceship on my own. What can we do? Is there another sci-fi you have in mind, or is there some other topic or another project that you kind of want to pursue? What's next for you?
Yeah, we are actually currently working on another sci-fi fiction film. And we actually got sponsored for it by the Swedish Film Institute.
And for that one, we do have a spaceship. Actually.
Yeah, for this one we actually hired a flight simulator.
Kudos.
So
nice. That's awesome. Congratulations on that one. I actually have a bridge through that. What you said. So Nikolina's film, The Light, which is actually a post-apocalyptic dystopian story. I kind of find that there's a connection between your stories that it concerns itself with the morality, I'd say, and humanity, and it kind of circles back to being humane. So that's I would recommend watching these two together. And Nikolina, if I can give you the word, can you introduce yourself shortly? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my name is Nikolina Riselius. I wrote, directed, and edited The Light.
I think it's if I may give something away about the film, it is quite also, as Rohan's film Binary Singularities. It's very focused on the film world, I'd say. It's very, very much formed by the surroundings, and it works with the surroundings, I think, in a different way than Rohan, because it's a dystopian story. And that the world building was. You had probably quite a different approach to the world building, but it gives off a similar vibe to me. The film is concerning itself kind of with the self-preservation instinct, I'd say, of a young woman, an instinct that kind of has been the culprit in her aloneness, in her loneliness, and she's left by herself. It's also kind of similarly to Rohan. It's implying that there is a need of humanity to survive, and it kind of means that we strip ourselves of humanity in the first place. So, with that introduction, what inspired you to create this story? Is it something that concerns you, the humanity and the morality that we kind of are losing these days?
Well, the first thing that made me think of the story was probably first the character and then the world. And then it started to go towards what characters or people would exist in that kind of world, which would be people who would do things mostly for themselves. Who
would you?
Sorry. So it started to go into that track. So I didn't really have a clear idea before I really started plotting it out.
Absolutely. Would you mind explaining or kind of introducing the character itself? Because she's a very frail woman, and also she's visibly human. But yeah,
in the film, she is blind because she got blinded when everything started, and right now she is in the state where she has been used to being alone. So she, yeah, as you said, much with self-preservation, because she hasn't been used to really having to care for someone for a long time. So,
but she is sorry,
what?
Babbling on. I'm babbling on. Go on. Sorry.
No problem. No, I was just going to say, so it's only been her and her dog pretty much, and that's been the only thing that's mattered. Yeah.
Have you kind of thought about a backstory for her, and also she has a very fond relationship with the dog that kind of follows her everywhere, and it's her guide dog basically. What does the dog represent to you, or what part of her story does he represent?
And I think the dog kind of represents the only thing that she really has left, because yeah, she's blind, she's wandered quite far away from any place that would be home. So I think the dog is there, well, both literally to guide away, but also there as the one thing that will be constant for her, or would be constant for her.
I also interpreted it, and tell me if I'm interpreting it wrong. Me personally, I felt that while the dog is with her, not to spoil the film for anyone, spoiler alert, while the dog is with her, she kind of remains at least partly human, and when the dog leaves her, it is the final departure with humanity, and she's left alone, and she's basically, yeah, she's a frail human being, but she does not have anything that connects her to her warmth anymore. Is it the right interpretation?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, the setting of the film, or probably the self preservation instinct of the character, is it something that started the apocalypse in your mind in the first place? Is it the self-preservation that kind of destroyed the world?
I didn't have really a clear idea about, or I didn't know what I was thinking was what happened, not really what triggered it, but yeah, nuclear war, which would probably go back to selfishness and self-preservation of someone with power.
Yeah. I really liked how you kind of approached her character, because it's not judging her in any way for choosing to survive. It's just kind of saying that this was necessary in the moment. Is it something that you would want the audience to take away from the movie, that the self-preservation is a thing that kind of dooms us, but it's also a thing that kind of we're probably gonna inevitably all do? Or how would you want the audience to think about the movie?
Well, when I wrote it, I didn't think of her as like being the bad guy, because there is also another character who kind of does the same thing, and she does the same thing, so it's not really like that any of them really did any bad, or they did do something bad to the other, but not like
in the grand scheme of
like
things, they created the whole apocalypse. Yeah. I really like the human side of that it kind of focused on the little character. Sorry, and continue.
So what I would want people to take out of it is probably that for the person itself it might be necessary or feel necessary, but if you do look at things from outside, you can see how much it hurts everyone. but now we're also with it with her. So of course we're gonna be on her side of it.
Yeah.
Even though she
And we're
does just as much.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're kind of experiencing the whole thing too. The world of the film is very deserted. It's very cold. It's very kind of raw. How did you come up with this particular kind of design of the film, of the world after the apocalypse, that it should be cold, and why is it called light?
Well, the setting, or the snow was actually not meant to be there, because I was actually aiming to film it before the snow fell, because I was worried about like tracks in the snow and stuff. But it started snowing the day before the shoot, so it kind of decided it for the film.
Sorry.
But ultimately, I think that was probably what made the whole aesthetics of it eventually, and the whole feeling of the film. And the spaces, I wrote it based on places that I knew that I could find around. I didn't end up using many of the places that I thought of specifically, but I went out and found them. And the title, it was suggested by a teacher because she was blinded by light. It's very and she's holding a candle in one of the scenes, and then there's I think the looks also of the film that made him think of that. So it was entirely into that.
I actually wanted to ask you if it has anything to do with the dog, because the dog is the guide dog that kind of leads her to the light usually, but when he kind of perishes, she kind of loses her guidance and the darkness sets up. So that's what I wanted to ask you, if that's again right interpretation of
but I think it's nice that people can interpret it as different things, even though it doesn't have a very grand explanation.
So when you mentioned the snow tracks, how did you go about kind of not being limited by the snow? How did you shoot it just from the from certain angles, or did you kind of manage to brush the snow off? How did you technically manage the situation of the snow?
I think it went well because it was fresh snow, so not many people had been able to walk over it already, and the places where we did film the snow, then we tried to brush it over. It didn't look as good as just normal falling snow, but but
Was it the biggest challenge of kind of the whole shoot, or was it the resources, or was it just because it must have been freezing? It looks like it had to be like really difficult shoot.
It was.
Oh my God, I can see the trauma. It was very cold.
I think a mix of things, maybe. But the cold was definitely a factor that made it more difficult. But also, well, maybe shooting with a dog, because they won't really go where you want them to. So
forgot to ask about that. Was it a trained dog that was somebody's on the set, or was it a...
No, it was my mom's work colleague's dog.
Okay.
So
he didn't...
he was quite well behaved most of the time, but sometimes he started walking off and doing stuff. So then we had to take a break for the dog.
I'm sorry. Would you have any advice for anyone who was working with dogs, or who is planning on working with dogs, that actually worked
Keep them out of the shot, only shots, and then only when they necessarily have to be in it.
Nice. Okay.
So
I may remember that. Okay. I've actually also noticed that you are now studying in Prague, which is the city where the festival comes from. Hello, welcome.
Yeah.
We're in the same city probably as we stream.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this particular place?
I had heard about it a lot from previous teachers, film teachers, and also online. So I had got many tips about it, the school specifically, and chose to apply because I also heard a lot of good things, like about Prague as a city. Also for film, because there's a lot of productions here and things that happen generally.
So glad to have you. And also, I'm sorry, it's very cold in here, so it doesn't help with the setting, and it definitely isn't getting better any days in here. Anyway, is there anything that's next for you? Do you have any project in mind? Or if you're studying film, are you developing something that is similar or different than this last film?
Well, right now we're having our graduation films. So mine is a psychological horror, and it's gonna shoot in 3 weeks. So it's
nice. Oh my god! Thank you for making time for us. I will keep it brief, and so literally, but we are nearing the end of this interview today. Do you have anything that you wanted to add to that I didn't ask? That's one thing. Both of you. That's on both of you, and also. Do you have any advice, any last additional comments, any advice or anything you would hope the audience takes away from the movie? Rohan seems to be talking.
So I can say something that it's more about what I said before, that anyone can make film. So we want to encourage anyone who has an interest for movies, or maybe has a story that they want to tell. We really encourage them to maybe gather some friends and just film it and create it. So our film is we would like to show it to other people to motivate them to make a movie, because this is only 2 people who made a sci-fi movie with limited resources.
Kudos to you for that. Again,
thank you.
I really recommend anyone seeing both of your movies. It's and in addition to each other, I think they kind of play out into each other very well, even though they have different vibes and different settings. And I kind of hope the audience kind of takes away to kind of stay true to your own style. Nikolina, do you have any additions to or advice that you would want to tell anyone just starting out filmmaking?
But yeah, I think it's also towards that you shouldn't limit yourself with the stories, because you can make grand stories with small resources. You just have to think a bit outside the box, and also to not limit your own voice or creativity. Like you don't have to make a film or a story a certain way just because someone else wants you to, because it's your film and your time and resources and everything that you're putting into it, and your project. So
nice last words. Thank you. We are probably going to wrap up on this one, and I feel that we are. So thank you all for coming, Rohan and Nikolina. Your films, as I said, are available for the registered people on the platform A-FilmTeensFest.com until the 23rd of February. And thank you again for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you that for the people who kind of have been watching us on Instagram and on YouTube and wherever else. And thank you. Farewell and goodbye, and see each other. I hope we will see each other very soon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Martine, asi můžeme vypnout stream. welcome again, one and all, to the continuation of the second A-FilmTeensFest Q&A of 2025. We are again streaming live. We are just coming in with a little addition to our previous program. Again, my name is Zuzana Nevolova. I am the program coordinator at the A-FilmTeens 2025. I am again welcoming one of our guests of the second Q&A, which is Bryn Wright. Hello, the director of the short animated film Metamorphoses. Hello, Bryn. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Would you want to say something about yourself, or would you want to keep the introduction to me?
I think you're pretty good at introductions at this point.
But go ahead then, if you want to. Yeah.
I think you're better at it.
Okay. Okay. We have covered in the last section. We have covered movies that are kind of shaped by the film's world or the place where the protagonist kind of find themselves. And there were many dystopian and sci-fi films, but your film is kind of unique in the way that it covers a different world. It covers a natural world, but it's also an animated film. I'd say that your film is quite unique because it uses claymation, and if I'm not mistaken, you've already developed a couple of movies. Those were featuring bugs. This time you have ladybugs and larvae. You accompanied them by frogs and axolotls. Is it the right name in English? Axolotls? Is it? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes, it is. Great. However, what kind of makes insects and the others that you featured in this film a subject that kind of fascinates you in person? Is there something that you would like to explore further, or is there something that you would like for people to kind of find out?
Well, like with the story of like bad bugs, I kind of use the characters to teach how they to use natural resources. And like with Metamorphoses, I wanted to represent people that are my age in a way that I could convey by changing.
I thought, I'm sorry, if I don't need to. I was wondering if it's if the surroundings kind of inspired you to make this film, because it's about growing. It's about going through changes, and I was wondering if you had anything that you wanted the audience to take away from the movie.
Mostly it's that Metamorphosis is again a metaphor for growing up and changing. So what it is all about is I wanted to talk about a sensitive topic in a way that's still understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. I have noticed that you mostly use claymation. Are you kind of playing out with other techniques? Are you interested in exploring animation like in a different way than you did before? Are you also going through changes? Are you growing up in that sense?
Currently I'm kind of trying to experiment with like 2D animation, but currently stop motion is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I thought so. Is there anything particular? Do you have a system already at kind of animating the things? I know that a lot of our viewers are they are usually above 15, but they usually don't know much about claymation. Is there something that you would kind of that has proven that works with you? Do you have a system that or technique where you know that this is going to be something that not only works but kind of you enjoy?
Currently my system is that whenever I'm about to do a scene, I kind of separate them into different parts. Also every year I try to develop a new technique I use for each movie. Like for one of them. Oh boy.
Oh, you created.
Oh boy. This
Oh
thing.
my god. That's very cool.
It is an
That's very
armature.
cool.
It is basically the thing that makes the frogs being able to jump in the air.
Yeah.
That's
very cool.
Yeah.
Do you how did you kind of get into animation in the first place? Because you use equipment that that I would get to know even as an adult. How did you get such an early start?
I kind of had a passion when my school had developed a film club, and I just wanted to try doing it because I wanted to see. I don't know. I wanted to see if I could do it. Also, I was very fascinated with animation for a while. So yeah, I was mostly kind of feeling it when I joined this film class, because everybody was super positive about filming.
About that, yeah. I'm not surprised that they were really positive about it, because your style is kind of very distinguishable. I'd say it already has a certain opinion, I think. How did you kind of develop your characters and visual style? Is there something that is important, the most important to you while you develop the films, the animated ones?
Well, the message is most important. I always like to have a message for the film. And the characters kind of just play out the story and tell it.
Yeah. Okay. Is it it feels like you have a favorite color palette. Could you expand on that? Is it formed just around the characters, or is it just your affinity to the colors?
Normally, the colors kind of have their own different set. Like, there's a certain color palette I use for Metamorphoses, like a bunch of deep blues and also rich greens. So I wanted to use less of just these bright neon colors. I still used some, but I didn't use as much.
Yeah. You're going through changes. Yeah, I get it. It kind of evolves. Is somebody somebody, oh my god, why is if somebody is wondering, what technique did you use for kind of capturing the underwater ecosystem? How did you do that? It's layers, or how? How?
For the underwater ecosystem, mostly it's kind of just a little background, but the main star thing is, of course, this again. But instead of that, it's mostly with one of these. Pretty much what it is all about is what I was doing is for a few of the scenes I didn't want to use that, but other scenes I kind of had to, like making the swim, doing other things, but mostly the underwater ecosystem was a background. But I did make the water sounds that play in it.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about screens and about how did you make the set. Do you have a really big where do you shoot these? Is it in your living room, or do you have a specific place where you're used to shooting all your animations?
Currently, I normally shoot my films in actually my parents' bathroom, big bathroom.
Cool. I like taking over my parents' house with my projects. Yeah, it's a good one. Cool. How was kind of the animation process of this film? What was the most kind of challenging thing? Is it taking your parents' bathroom, or what was the most consuming part of the process? What was the biggest challenge?
So pretty much, let me think. So there's 15 frames per second. in 2 minutes. That's around 2,000 frames. So I'd have to like take each individual picture to like 2,000 times. Also, most of the filming is actually in a week. It doesn't take months to film, but mostly it taking months is doing like the storyboarding and creating the characters in general.
That's very cool. I'm thinking about how long do you kind of, the animation sets need to stay in place so that you can shoot them the next time where you left it. Do you go in chunks, or do you kind of, clear out the bathroom so that somebody can enjoy their space and then kind of set it up again?
Well, mostly I kind of just, normally what happens is that we have a scene set up and then we take down some of the stuff, but we leave the table there with the background. So currently, we sometimes just leave it there. But normally we don't, like, I split up into chunks. Normally that's by scene, or if there's a longer scene, I kind of stop in the middle of it, but I have to like be careful to not touch anything.
Absolutely. We're nearing the end, so you can absolutely go back to another animation that you have made during the process. But one of my last questions for you, is there something that you really don't appreciate on animation, or do you kind of just love all of it and plan to continue exploring it for the future?
Something I really don't appreciate in general about animation is the fact that for some things it just takes so long. It just takes so long to do. Also, there's not a really good place to just set up and do it. Like, you couldn't really do it at a school unless you had this big set, like a set up, and nobody could go over there. So it'd be a little bit harder to do, like something every. It's also not very portable. Like for claymation in general, it's not portable to do anywhere. So that's a little bit hard to do for me.
Do you kind of, despite that, if you had a space in, I don't know, in your future film school or something, do you continue to explore animation? Would you want to, and do you plan to?
Yeah, I do. I plan to. Yeah.
I would wish it upon you, because it sounds like you have something going on. If that's the case, do you have a project next project in mind? What kind of topic fascinates you currently? Is it, since you're going through changes, something different than you were already exploring, or is it insects and bugs and other claymations?
Currently it's actually something very interesting. It's actually about coyotes, which I don't believe you guys have. But here in America we have a bunch.
No, we don't.
We have a lot. So I was discussing about like a very big topic about coyotes. So I wanted to talk about that. So that's pretty much what's happening. Exciting.
That sounds like it sounds within your style, and at the same time it is a bit surprising and a change that you're going through. That's very nice. Do you have any kind of last additional comments? Do you have any advice or anything that you would kind of hope somebody takes away from your work, or any message to someone just starting out filmmaking?
Message I would give is just keep trying, even if you don't think even if you think it doesn't look perfect, just keep doing it, and eventually you'll improve each time you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that one. We're gonna wrap up on this one. we're going to let you off. And thank you again, Bryn, for coming. Your film, which is Metamorphoses, is available on our website till the 23rd of February. You can watch it as well as the other movies that we have selected this year. Thank you again for participating this year, sending your film, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for anyone who has been watching again on, you know, all the streams, the YouTubes and the Instagrams and the Facebooks and all those and so on. Thank you and farewell, goodbye. Nashledanou.